Good evening, hello, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I've sat down and actually talked to you properly. Um, Today I'm not doing the usual thing. Reason being, I'm still not quite in that frame of mind at the moment. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. There's a lot going on, but I just need to tune into that mindset to get back into it. And I'm not quite there yet. I'm getting there, but as anybody who's been a fan of my channel, or sorry, not a fan, has been watching my channel for a while, will know that I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters. And if you've been anywhere near YouTube or Facebook or any kind of social media, you will know over the last day, was it yesterday? It was yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock English GMT or BST, whatever. Is it? Yes, GMT now. And a little bit later on that day, two trailers for the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire movie were released. Now, a lot of people have already done reactions. I have seen the videos. I have seen the trailers rather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through both of them. I was actually at home. I just happened to be home on my lunch break because, as you know, I've moved and I'm not that far from work. I'm literally a 7-minute walk from work. Came home from lunch break and it just so happened it was when the trailer was premiering. So I was actually in the room, so to speak, sat right here with a bunch of other people who were waiting for the trailer to start. And as you can see up here, it's premiering in 60 seconds. All very, very exciting. Well, it wasn't 60 seconds. It was 60 seconds to the 2-minute countdown, then the trailer. So I'm going to, like I said, I won't cards on the table. I have seen his before. I haven't seen this one. The first one that premiered at 2 o'clock, I haven't seen that much. You may be more aware of the international trailer that was released later. First time I saw that was actually in Italian, I think, and I was really quite gutted, but then I found another copy that was all in English. So I'm going to skip through this and I'm just going to go blow by blow. Hopefully the green screen's working because it's got a whole new setup and it's taking me half an hour to get the settings right. Run through the trailer, pause when appropriate, and we'll see what we see if we can spot anything fantastic. So let me skip through here because like I said, I was waiting for quite some time. Oh, here was the big countdown. There's all the guys. Hello people. I've got my first one strapped to my back and trap ready. I don't think I'm not quite in the cosplay side of things yet. Say yet, it costs a bloody fortune to do cosplay. Right, okay, so 45, then you had the big exciting, was actually getting exciting at the 10-second mark, because all this started happening. Okay, so, here we go, let's just run through. So I'll get the volume up a bit.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
It's all dark and horny at 12 o'clock.
See, little trailers before the trailers, this must be a modern thing, just little clips. You've blown your load, you've seen the big bad and you've seen Bill Murray, so where's the surprise? But anyway.
I've been waiting 40 years for this. They called themselves Ghostbusters. According to these hacks, they saved the world. No eyewitnesses.
Apart from all the people standing outside who saw the building blow up, a massive 100-foot marshmallow man walking down the street, I think there was plenty of witnesses. I'm guessing this is, well, I'm not guessing, this is Walter Peck, who somehow I think is the mayor now?
And who is found to carry the torch? Descendants of Egon Spengler. You have a miner hanging out the side of a moving vehicle, firing a laser gun indiscriminately.
Has a proton pack.
It's completely safe.
I wouldn't say completely safe.
The Ghostbusters are finished.
Right, well, overruled.
Sustained.
Thank you.
It doesn't make sense legally, but okay, fair enough.
You the weird guy who buys strange old things?
Correct on both counts.
Buddy, you just hit the jackpot.
What is it?
Better question is, what's inside of it?
See, Patton Oswalt, the meteoric rise to fame. He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he did a load of stints with RedLettermedia, and now he's in Ghostbusters. I think he's reached the pinnacle. I'm not too sure about this. Now, if you don't know, this guy's name is James Acaster, or Acaster. He's an English comedian, British comedian. I use that term loosely. I don't find him very funny at all. When I heard that he was in it, I thought, why? Who did he impress to get into this film? He's been on programs like 8 out of 10 Cats and 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. He's done Taskmaster. Just something away. Don't know. He just doesn't gel with me. Hopefully he'll be fine. I know there's more of him in the next trailer, so I'm going to ignore this for now because this, I think this is the plot. What's happening in this bit right here.
The parables tell of an unimaginable evil commanding an army of ghosts. With the power to kill by fear itself.
Like, literally scared to death?
We might be looking at a second ice age.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Interesting to note, that was a big old van. And obviously this was the first trailer, and I thought that wasn't the arse end of Ecto 1, that was something completely different. But that's explained a little bit more in the second trailer. I think I'll skip through this. I'll just play this one for anybody who may not have seen it, but the big one's coming in a minute.
Any help? Melnitz in uniform. Yes.
Now I have heard that that wasn't actually originally planned. Is it Gil Keenan who's directing this time? I think he was part of. He was wrote it with Ivan Reitman and Jason Reitman. Afterlife, I'm talking about. Janine Melnitz wasn't originally going to be a Ghostbuster. Wasn't actually going to be in uniform. It's just at some point they approached you and said something along the lines of it's time to get Janine into the suit. Or it's time for Janine to get suited up, or something along those lines. So obviously they were writing it on the fly and progressing it. Doesn't really make sense. It makes less sense than Lewis Tully being a Ghostbuster. He just, went along, put the earmuffs on, looked a bit goofy, caught a bus driven by Slimer, and did something that was ultimately inconsequential. But hey ho, will it make sense in this? Let's see. There it is. Okay, I'm going to get back to that.
If there's something weird, who are people going to call?
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
We're the Ghostbusters. Can I tell you something else? What? Buster makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Heads up. Tall, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock.
Now that obviously is the progression from the RC trap they had in Afterlife. Suddenly appeared out of nowhere, and Podcast knew exactly how to drive it. A tiny thing, and even though he could drive it while he wasn't driving it, if you see the sequence where they catch Muncher, where they're heading towards the mountain, there's a long period where Podcast isn't driving that truck, that little RC car at all. But obviously you're on the streets of New York, you can't have an RC car because somebody will steal it. So the drone makes a bit more sense, and especially obviously high-rise buildings, you're working at height, that kind of thing, so it'll probably work. Very thin trap though. How is it going to catch that ghost? But it's Drake's Law, isn't it? As years go on, technology shrinks, something like that anyway. Oh, that's going to be gift up. Interesting that obviously they didn't go for it. He could have said, "Oh my god, he slimed me," but I think the yap was pretty much obvious, and that did pay homage to that. There is something I'm going to go back to, which somebody has put out in the original trailer. Somebody has pointed out, I did not see this, somebody else did. Am I going to be able to find it if I get through here? It's when Finn, I take it, he's not Finn, yeah, sorry, Finn Wolfhard. I'm assuming when he's in the loft. Let me mute this for a second, I'm just going to find this bit. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. There, here, right there, that is a Ghostbusters 2 logo, as opposed to the Ghostbusters logo. So, there's a big thing about Ghostbusters 2 is now canon. It always was. There's Janine's character in the first film was completely different in Ghostbusters 2 because of Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon. And they made her like this punk chick or whatever with the hair and the outfits. And then this is carried on to Afterlife when obviously she still had the same persona. And again in this film where she's got the blue glasses, very reminiscent of Matrix Revolutions for some reason. So that's that first trailer, which is a step between a teaser trailer and the full one, which I'm going to get up in a second, but I'm going to have to get it on YouTube because this one I downloaded off the live stream, which is why the resolution isn't fantastic. But let's have a go through the proper one and on YouTube. So let me find it for a second, and back in 3, 2, 1. We're back. So here's an international trailer. Yeah, not long after the first one came out, the one we just saw, one came out and it was only in Italian. Then the international trailer was released. Then it got changed to private for some strange reason. I don't know if there was something in there they didn't want to, in order to see, but they came back with this, and it's exactly the same trailer. So high resolution, hopefully. Let's see how we get with this one. Probably lots of pausing, and then later on discussion. So let's see how we get on.
We've all had experiences and encounters with the unknown and the unexplainable.
So possibly Egon is still around and he's still playing chess with Phoebe. I want to talk about her in a second. Nothing weird.
Here?
So Razor Cole, again, this is the store he got in Ghostbusters 2. So Ghostbusters 2 is canon. I don't know why it's up for debate, really.
We paid top dollar for your...
So dolls, saxophones, dunno, mostly dolls.
Your possessed possessions. Now
This is very, very interesting.
Have it for 40.
I've never seen anything like this at all. 60.
All over New York City, ghost attacks are on the rise.
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
That was funny once. If somebody's ringing the Ghostbusters, what do you think they want? Obviously it's a callback. This, incidentally, is not the firehouse in Los Angeles. For those of you who don't know, the external is Hook 'em Ladder 8, which is an active firehouse in New York. If I ever go to New York, that will be one of my first visits. The interior set is actually a defunct firehouse in Los Angeles. It's actually in quite a ropey area. If you watch the end credits scenes of Afterlife, the car comes into the original garage, and if you look across the street, you can actually see the neighborhood it's actually in. Looks a little bit rough, obviously. They only did a little bit of filming there for Afterlife, but this is entirely on a set. Couple of points of interest: light green piping around the walls. Big Trouble in Little China, and I think an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer were filmed inside that building. Just interesting points of fact. And Big Trouble in Little China is just before they go into the underworld. It's where Egg Shen mixes up his potions. Anyway, carry on.
And we are the only ones equipped to fight back.
Paul Rudd, I do like him. I obviously, like most people, he's probably one of those guys who only really got into after Ant-Man, because mostly he was Judd Apatow films. I couldn't tell you, honestly, probably couldn't tell you another film he was in before Ant-Man. I do like him. I liked a lot of his stuff recently. I liken him to Simon Pegg in that King of the Geeks. Simon Pegg, started out in something like Spaced. Before that, he was in an advert for Buttercup Syrup cough medicine. When he did Spaced, he was talking about, all geeky stuff. Him and Edgar Wright, Star Wars, Star Trek, anything going. And then somewhere down the line, he wrote Star Trek Beyond. He helped to write Star Wars. He was in Star Wars. He was in Star Trek. He's one of the major players in Mission Impossible. The Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise, who's his best friend, and he goes snowboarding a lot. I mean, to think of where you start lowly positions, build up, build up, build up, and then you get the big things. Now, Paul Rudd is, he's Ant-Man. legendary MCU, and now he's one of the major players in Ghostbusters, one of the most treasured franchises from the 80s. Good for him. But anyway, carry on. Just entering these little thoughts of mine.
Welcome to the new Paranormal Research Center.
You just let ghosts hang out in here?
We've spent 40 years trapping them. Now we can study them.
Which again, I think is a callback to Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, because I know in at least one episode, and I know there was a comic book as well, because I used to get the comic book. They went into the trap. It's this massive void. It's like talking about Ant-Man, the quantum realm. It's a little bit like that. It looks like a tiny box in a wall, but once you're inside, it looks all TARDIS-y, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, spacey wacy stuff. Interesting concept. Now, James Acaster, I don't know what his character is, but Bill Murray's in it. We don't know if Sigourney Weaver is in it. And more to the point, a lot of people are asking, where's Oscar? Is James Acaster playing Oscar? Would Dana allow her son to do that, knowing what she knows? The dangers he was in, and he was just a little baby. Would she let him go into the fray? But, adoptive father like son. Let's see.
He's cute.
Yeah.
Ever since you brought in this orb, strange things have been occurring.
That was James Acaster's voice. So obviously, good for him not trying to do an American accent, because he talks a little bit like me. He's a little bit mealy-mouthed, which may not work for an American audience. So, see how he gets on. But if he is speaking with his English voice and he is English, I've just sort of shot myself in the foot there. He probably won't be Oscar unless Oscar moved to England for several years. Lucky, obviously, still back. Finn Wolfhard's love interest from the first film seems to be a major player. If you listen to what some people are saying, I'm guessing she might not make the end of this film, but I doubt very much if they kill her off, because there's going to be another part, and I don't know how popular she was in the last one.
It's commanding of the spirits.
Is something trying to get out?
Many things.
We could be looking at a full-bore army.
Is that supposed to be the librarian ghost from the first film? If so, why? For one thing, it looks completely different. Doesn't actually look like Alice or the big doggy monster thing that frightened the crap out of everybody in 1984. It might just be from a different angle. But why is he down there? Are they trying to, get ghosts on their side? They just talked about having ghosts in the basement of this new. Well, was it the basement? Was it? Don't even think that was the firehouse basement. I think it was just a completely different building that Winston's in charge of.
Of ghosts with the power to kill by fear itself.
Like literally scared to death?
That's messed up.
So what is the plan?
We're the Ghostbusters. We stay and fight for this place.
Suit up. Shoot anything that looks terrifying.
Is that supposed to do that, or was that malfunctioning?
That orb is prophesizing to bring about the end of humankind.
Now, my little tuppence here, James Acaster, for some strange reason, puts his hand on the orb and it freezes him. My 2 cents, does he turn into the big bad at the end of the film? I wonder. There's a lineup shot coming up I have seen. I will put 2 and 2 together and probably make 28, so bear with me.
The second Ice Age.
People are theorising that is a very old fireman's outfit from New York. So that's not. This may have been like the 80s or earlier. So this has happened before. But if so, why didn't the Ghostbusters know about it?
Get away from her!
You bitch. So, if you're being frozen to death, did she just die? Probably not. At least we've only got, what, a month, 2 months before it comes out? At least it was a bit more ink. It looks like the actual first one. Now I'm going to scan back to a pause shot there. Winston, Venkman, Stantz, Janine, Connie, Paul Rudd, Finn, Lucky, podcast. No Phoebe, no James Acosta. And you heard Lucky saying earlier, get away from her. So James Acosta is the bad guy, possibly, or becomes the bad guy. He's possessed. You know, possession is a big theme in Ghostbusters. Get away from her. Is he interested in Phoebe? She's a pretty girl now. Even though I do actually want a word with, well, I'd like to see in the behind the scenes stuff, the wardrobe department, because I'm just wondering how they managed to make somebody look like a 12-year-old girl when she actually looks like this. But anyway, I think let's quickly run through. So, like I say, James Acosta's character, who appears to be semi-major, and Phoebe isn't in this shot. Can't see her legs anywhere. She's not there. Too important a character to be shoved to the background. Yeah, I'm calling it. I think James Acosta becomes the big bad through possession or something along those lines. Yeah. Good for you, Finn. Right. The dates we have here are the 22nd of March. I've banged on before about there's quickie. My nose operation. I finally got a date. It's going to be the 7th of March, and once I have it, I have to be down for 2 weeks recovering. There's something else going on in the middle of that works out, but the day after my finished recovery date, 1, Ghostbusters comes out, and 2, I've got to be at a friend's wedding. So I'm afraid my friend comes first. As much as I love Ghostbusters, I love my friend even more. So haha. Right, so final thoughts. Let's get this down, because this always makes my bloody glasses reflect nothing. You can carry on recording, jolly good. So final thoughts, yeah, looking forward to it. Afterlife was a bit of a large departure from what we knew before, because it was a completely different setting. The first 2 films and the abysmal, god-awful, how dare you even try to emulate the godlike statue of Ghostbusters, the 2016 version, directed or farted out by Paul Feig and Melissa McCarthy. I've voiced my opinion on that. If you want a more definitive opinion on that, look out the RedLettermedia. They've got about 3 videos on the 2016 Ghostbusters. They've got their own review, they've got Scientist Man, they've also got a Plinkett review, and I recommend you watch all 3. I do regularly myself. So yeah, looking forward to it. Interesting plot elements, theories. My big one, again, as I've said before, I wouldn't put money on it, but I would guess that, as I said, local boy James may become the big bad because he freezes his hands, and the whole thing's about ice. I have seen a still, I think, of him with his arm in a bandage or in a sling, so he may recover from it somewhat, but I still think he's tied into it in the end. Lucky, the girl, I doubt very much if she's going to die ultimately. She'll be in peril. But there may be a big Deus Ex Machina thing at the end. Sorry, I'm looking right by a main road. There may be a big Deus Ex Machina thing at the end that everybody comes back to life, or everybody who hasn't been shattered to pieces by clumsy firemen comes back to life. I would like to think so. It's of a model. I mean, the original Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 were in the 90s. There was a slower pace, more emphasis on plot progression, comedic elements, a couple of action sequences here and there. This is 2024. People want more action. People want whip, whip, whip. So that kind of thing has to play for a modern audience. I'm glad that the original crew are getting more screen time, because quite frankly, as much as I love the guys, that bit at the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife where they're sort of, hey, here we are, and then they slowly walk towards the camera, I thought they should have just gone in with your proton packs blazing and, oh my god, look, it's them. That would work better, but as it, it was all very emotional. It was all more to do with saying thank you and goodbye to Harold Ramis and Egon Spengler, which I loved. It was very emotional, got me right there. I didn't cry because I'm a man. This one, yeah, William Atherton playing the mayor, not quite sure, because I think he was just an EPA guy before. And there's also something interesting about William Atherton, Walter Peck's character in the first Ghostbusters. He was right. As much of an arsehole as he was, there was dangerous things in their basement. They were running around with unlicensed nuclear accelerators on their back, and they were unchecked, so to speak, and because of one switch, hell was released on New York City. So as much as a git as he was in it, how well he played it, he was ultimately correct. And he should have been listened to in the first instance. However, he's probably just going to be an arsehole in this one, and it's very much the Harris Yulin, the judge in Ghostbusters 2, who, despite all the events of Ghostbusters 1 5 years previously, everybody seems to have completely forgotten that there was a 100-foot marshmallow man, wandering through the city. And then they tried him as frauds, even though there were probably thousands upon thousands of witnesses to what happened. Again, it's overlooked by Walter Peck at the start of this one. Oh well, I say it's the start. It could be at any point during the film. Sorry, I had a big deal. So yeah, that was my tuppence on the Ghostbusters trailers, plural. Was only expecting one, got two, so bonus. Is too much of the plot revealed? Possibly. There's a lot to know. Nobody knows how it ends. I'm going to guess the good guys win, possibly. Will anybody die? Doubt it. Yeah, I think that's it. There's nothing else to say, really. Patton Oswalt's in it. I think the guy was from Eternals. And most of the main guys are back. The old embracing the new, so to speak. We had a little bit of that in the last one, but it seems to be the entire film was made up. So you've got the new guys with the old guys at the end. Now you've got new guys. So is it the third part in this new franchise going to be just the old guys again? Don't know. Doubtful. Bill Murray's getting a bit past it, and they're probably paying him too much. Anyway, that'll do for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll try to get some more stuff out. It's taken me a little while to set this bloody green screen up, and I really hope it works, otherwise this whole thing's been a complete waste of time. Again, thanks for watching. Soon to get a new microphone. Got to get a new camera because the resolution on this one is way out of whack, and I think I'm bugging up the frame rate. I'm actually recording this on my laptop and everything else is over here because OBS doesn't work on my computer. Enough wittering. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again soon with more of the same or more of this. Haven't made my mind up yet. Let's see how I get on. Thank you. Bye bye.